We are still not there when it comes to the mindshare and also mass adoption, but we have a technology that can change the world. We need to show data in our applications fast, right? If you open your mobile wallet, you want to see your balance in less than a second.
Of course, anything above that, I get worried.
I don't want to even predict where we will be as a global community in 10 years from now because of AI. I don't want to predict that. I'm both excited and scared. Let's put it this way.
I think everybody is.
This is why we are here, the decentralization, the freedom, the creativity it gives us, but at the same time, to bring mass adoption, we need to build trust. And sometimes, sadly, trust comes from the regulations.
Welcome everyone, my name is Seb from Luna PR, and today we're in beautiful Seoul, South Korea for Korea Blockchain Week, and welcome to this episode of Tech It or Leave It podcast. I have the pleasure to be joined by Marta Adamczyk. I hope I didn't destroy your last name.
No, you did not.
Head of BD and DevRev at SubQuery.
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for having us.
Of course.
By me. Yes, what we do, SubQuery Network is a Web3 infrastructure company. We are focusing on building tools that help builders empower their projects, empower their dApps. We are all about data accessibility, lowering the entry level, optimizing the tools that builders are using to access data. And myself, I'm a head of BD and DevRev at SubQuery, so I lead all the efforts and in the area of growth for our projects. And because whatever we are building for builders. So our audience, our users, our developers. So that's why I have this pleasure to get in front of them, talk to them, and travel also, and have this beautiful opportunities right now we have in Seoul to connect with builders here, and so that's why I'm here.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so I have a few questions. I'll kick off with this one. I think today a lot of people would still say that Web3 is still building its foundation. And I want to know from your perspective, what's the biggest gap in infrastructure that needs to be solved before we see true mainstream adoption, in your opinion?
Such a big question, and I love that we are starting with it. I absolutely love it because I relate to it personally and also from business perspective. So as someone who's a part of infrastructure project, I have for sure a lot to say, but also as a developer or ex-developer, because I don't work as a developer anymore, but I used to. So I had my first share of struggles with infra. So we are definitely not yet with a mass adoption in general. This didn't happen. We don't have enough of a mindshare beyond the Web3 space. So if you go to events, for instance, you keep seeing the same people in a way.
Yeah,
and
it's a small world.
It's a small bubble still. But we have a technology that can change the world. And I'm convinced that this is something that will happen, or it's actually happening. And this is why I actually joined Web3, because I thought that we can solve the problems in the current world from different areas, from politics to social to finance, you name it. To be honest, this technology has so much power, but we are still not there when it comes to the mindshare and also mass adoption. There was no product that was that had network effect and have been used by everybody or discussed by everybody, apart from cryptocurrencies and some buzzwords, But going to the gaps in infrastructure, I think we are way better right now than we used to be 3 years ago. SubQuery is an infrastructure company. We know the market very well. We see more and more competitors serving good quality, offering good quality services, which is great because there was a time where you had just a handful of companies. And the problem was that we were all talking about the decentralized ethos, but the dirty Web3 secret was that everybody relied behind the curtain. All the dApps we all been using relied on just a handful of providers. So all the RPCs, so essentially the point of entry and point of access to blockchain data, what RPC node is, was actually run by 3 companies, So that was far away from like mitigating risk of single point of failure, like as far as
Quite the opposite. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was not. We are not following the decentralized ethos, and we are still in a much better space. First of all, we have more variety of providers, which is great, but also we have a lot of decentralized providers. So this is something that I want to speak about because this is an ethos of SubQuery as well. So really focus on decentralized services, and we offer decentralized indexing and RPCs, which is kind of a unique offering still, but it's good to see more and more of that in the ecosystem. So I think this is still something that we could be better at, like having more of truly decentralized providers and actually having services of this quality that they can be comparable with centralized services for other projects to use, because we still see a tendency that projects prefer more control over data, more insights, and they're okay with managed hosting, which is still not a truly decentralized option, right?
It's but this is changing. The full decentralization.
Exactly. So that I would say one gap. But there is one more I want to talk about, which is not very I think it's not obvious. It's the fact that infrastructure-wise we are there, we have a bunch of providers, but we need more developers. If you go to conferences and you see the booths, right, you'll see networks. There are a lot of networks, a lot of services around, like recruiting, finance, audits, security, infra, like SubQuery, but not enough of the apps and not enough of developers still. We have so many people on this planet, so many young students. We just need to onboard more of them to Web3. And I think this is something we can be all better at, like from the networks team to infrastructure providers. We need to care more about developer experience. User experience aside, also, we have a lot to do to bring mass adoption, but developer experience is so important. We are not standardized as an ecosystem. It's a highly technical space, quite overwhelming even for developers, especially either a student or someone who's a senior developer but coming from Web 2 to Web 3. A lot of learning.
Of course.
And we just need to put more efforts into proper developer education, even more hackathons, more bootcamps, but really good docs. Really, this is so important. We listen to feedback from developers using our tool, and we constantly put efforts into optimizing the documentation, error messaging, developer experience from the beginning to the end. It's so important. We want to have more developers in the space, and not only developers who come, but they get to stay. So when you look at some statistics about developers, last year we saw a huge drop in developers who come to Web3 and Ethereum space particularly and stay longer than 1 year. Okay. So a lot of them drop. The interest, they go away. So what are we doing wrongly? Yeah, we want to keep them.
Engaged.
Keep them engaged. Help them learn because it's a great space, but there is some learning curve, and how to make it easier for them. Yeah, so I think that's the not really obvious infra gap. In terms of infra providers, they have to also put a lot of efforts into it, like how to use their tools, how to make it happen.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that answer. I would love for you to develop a tiny bit more on indexing. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Absolutely. Indexing is a way to help builders obtain data from the blockchain, and in that way that it's very performant, easy to use for developer, but also when it comes to the performance, it will show up in the application quite fast. So essentially, if you look at the blockchain, if you think about the blockchain, you think about the database, right? But it's not very easy to query it. It's not rocket science, but it takes time. So if you want to ask a particular question, like give me the 2 biggest holders of this token, for instance, it takes time because it means that it has to go through every block and analyze this data. It's easier with centralized databases. And if we want to build applications in Web3 that can compete in user experience and performance with Web2 applications, we need show data in our applications fast, right? If you open your mobile wallet, you want to see your balance in less than a second.
Of course.
Yeah. So
anything above that, I get worried.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is where the indexers helps. So to be honest, any application, any decentralized application you've been using, I can bet it's using some type of indexer. Either it will be SubQuery, maybe Graph, maybe other competitors there, or in-house built. So this is what indexing is. It helps to ask a particular question. for instance, the wallet balances, yeah? And then what it means, the indexer will go through blockchain data and pre-save it in the database. And then when the question or when something is triggered from the application layer, we need data retrieval. What's happening behind the curtain is that you ask the pre-saved database, not blockchain directly. So this is why you can make it faster. This is the whole secret behind it all.
So that's everything at stake. Amazing,
yeah.
Amazing. I mean, this is kind of my next question, which is that there's always a balance between innovation and regulation, right? And I want to know from your perspective in the business that you run and the people that you interact with, how do you think that builders in Web3 can stay ahead of regulatory pressures while still advancing technology? Like, where is that balance in your mind?
I think it's one of the most important questions for our industry. I don't know if I know the answer in terms of how we need to achieve this balance. I think we are still trying to figure it out, and I see a lot of tensions. On the one hand, we want to preserve the freedom for builders and the ecosystem. This is why we are here, the decentralization, the freedom, the creativity it gives us. But at the same time, to bring mass adoption, we need to build trust. And sometimes, sadly, trust comes from the regulations. And because our industry, has a lot of potential and a lot of great initiatives, but there have been also scams and a lot of malicious agents here, like in any industry. But also because ours is very technical and also known for those scandals. We really need to build up trust and do more efforts than actually other industries. And I think if we really want to make it out there in terms of mass adoption and bringing institutional clients, big clients to Web3, we definitely need to allow a bit more of regulations, which is hard to say and admit, but I think this could help us to bring millions of users into our space, and we need it to survive, because we can have great tech, great talent, creative builders, but if there are no users at the end, this is all gone.
100%.
So I think we have to, it's a trade-off in a way, but I think something our industry will lean towards, yeah.
Super interesting, super interesting. And so my final question to you is, we're seeing AI, tokenization, Bitcoin, and scalability all colliding as narratives right now, right? I want you to tell me which one you believe has like the longest term impact out of those.
I think all of them are important. I don't think they really compete, but definitely buzzwords, like definitely happening right now, definitely current narratives. From those, I would definitely say it's AI. Like, I think we still underestimate the impact of AI, and not only for Web3, in general for our lives. Like, I don't want to even predict where we will be as an industry or even as a global community in 10 years from now because of AI. I don't want to predict that. Like, I'm both excited and scared. Let's put it this way.
I think everybody is.
Yeah, but 2 years ago, it wasn't that the conversation was happening, but it wasn't that broad. Right now, everybody's using AI.
Yeah.
In some, or maybe not everybody, but a lot of people are. Sure. And it's definitely a buzzword, but I think it will change the game for blockchain as well. And I think the projects that are trying to, in a real way, incorporate AI into their offering are doing a good job, and this is a good call. And we also respond to that because the demand is there. Like, we are the company that provides access to data.
Sure.
So the question is, how can we utilize either AI tools or optimize our offering so AI agents can use blockchain data or have easier access? How we can allow builders to have deeper insights and smart access to data, and also for AI agents. So this was our thinking, and we already shipped a few products and working on more. What we already have is MCP, so this is like Model Context Protocol. This is something that allows AI applications to access other applications, decentralized applications. So if you have like AI agent that helps you build your project, like Cursor, for instance, you are able to use SubQuery plugin, and you are able to build your indexing project with AI agent.
Really?
So this is how we are onboarding more users, more developers into Web3, because it's not easy to understand blockchain data. And if you want to build your own indexer, you have to understand how to build that indexer. You have to know a lot. And here we are with helping you to build this with AI agent, right? So if you have to master prompts, but this is a new skill to master, I guess.
Everybody's got to learn.
How to be successful with your prompts. But if you got that, then you can build with SubQuery. So that's great. And another thing is, it's on another side of the table. So we shipped GraphQL agent.
Okay.
So that helps you to ask the agent about anything that you can think of about already indexed data.
Okay.
So usually, right now, before we ship that, what you should do is you have to query the pre-saved database using GraphQL. It's a language that many developers dream in, you know?
Yeah.
We know GraphQL so well. But it's easier for everybody, because we are humans, to actually ask in English, you know, in your native or non-native language, but just in a natural language. So this is what we shipped. So you can, to a pre-index data existing project, you can ask agent any question, and you will get it in English words, as a smart, easy to understand, digestible answer. Not something that you still have to filter as a developer.
Sure.
So that's what we have right now, working on many more.
But those two are live. They're usable.
Yes. You can start. Myself, I've been using it quite heavily. So it's a pretty cool development. We're very proud of that. Yeah.
Amazing, Marta. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much.
So good.
It was
to
a
chat
pleasure
with you.
talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank you.